All right. The next project on the list to do, we're waiting on the LT1 to get the computer back. On those big cam cars, usually got to make some throttle blade adjustments to get those to work right, or drill out the intake air control passage. But anyway, next project is the Turbo Hydromatic 400 for Christopher's car. It's going to get a hipster Trans-Brake just like my car. We're going to build it just like mine. To start off, we're just going to take these pan bolts out, take the pan off. Alright, so we got the pan off, and this thing's yucky. That's what it looks like when they get water in them. He had a spark plug boat where the dipstick tube goes, but that wasn't enough to keep the water out, I guess. Either way, it don't matter. The whole thing's getting rebuilt. So the next thing we're going to take off is the pan. It's just got one bolt right there. Take that bolt off. All right, I got the pan off. So the pan, it seals right here on the pickup. We can pull that out of here in a minute. But the way this goes on, there's this spacer, then the pan, and then this bolt and washer. That's how it goes on. But don't lose your bolt and your washer. This is one of the performance pans, but it's ruined, so that's going to go in the garbage. Next, we're going to take this valve body off. But first, so this is the spring for your gear selector. This is your gear selector. It's got little grooves in it. It goes clip, 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 clip. And then once you put it in park, it pushes that piece back and engages the parking pawl, and the parking pawl engages up there to keep you from rolling. So we're going to go ahead and take all that out of there real quick. And this is just the electronic kick down. We're going to take that out of there also. Take note of, you know, it's good to make a video like this. Take note of all the springs and how they go on, etc. Your little panel nail that holds the shifter linkage in. I think that's funny. That's the way every one of them I've ever took apart, I got a nail in there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take the rest of that off. Alright, so I took off the gear selector spring. I took off the passing gear piece, and then I just unplugged it from there. When I get the valve body and everything out, we'll put a socket over that'll fit just enough to hit them clips and push that out. I took this off, and I took the spring off for the parking pawl. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the valve body off. Now when you take this valve body off, there's some balls, check balls inside here. Those are going to fall out if you got it like I've got it. And the reason I've got it this way is because I'm not reusing those. I don't care if they fall out or if I lose them or whatever, but if you care about that, I laughed and coughed at the same time. Flip the transmission over upside down and get some blocks of wood back there and try to make that as flat as you can. That way when you pull that off, then check balls won't take off and go rolling on you, and you'll lose them and have to order more and then wonder where they go back. It's best if you're reusing this valve body, take that off with it level and then see where they're at, take a picture of it, whatever, so that way you remember where they go back. Also, all these bolts are the same size except for that one, and that one. They're all like that. Except for that one, and that one. Alright, I got the valve body off. None of the bearings came out because the separator plate stayed on. That's what that is. And then this piece, guys, I'm not good at nomenclature, but that whole combo went in that hole right there. There's this spring, this, this, and then that spring. And it came out just like that. Just like that. These pulled out of here right here, and they pull out of the back of the valve body also. And then this one, the smaller one, the smaller hole, it's got this screen that goes down in there also. We're not. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take this piece off. Again, terrible with nomenclature. When I rebuilt the last one, I looked all this up and I tried to use all the nomenclature, but I've went and forgot that info already. I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to take the separator plate off. Alright, so I took that piece out. This pulls out. The gasket pulls off of it. And that gasket only goes on one way, a certain way. With that. And then there's a there's the big piston. There's a spring inside there. And then there's this smaller piston. And then there's a spring here. There's the inside spring. And then that goes up in the hole. That's pretty much it. But let's go ahead and take a separator plate off. And some ball bearings are going to fall out of here. Probably. No, they're not going to fall out because most of the gasket's stuck. There. Right there's a bearing. 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 I'm pretty sure there's more of that. I'm going to have to clean all that off. Sucks. I'm going to grab a magnet and get those out. Alright, took that part off. Just one bolt right there. And it pulls right out. And there is a big shaft up in here. If I can get it out. I don't want to come out. Even a booger. There it comes. Come on out here. There it is. Alright, let's take the pump off so we can get that nail out. The pump's blocking us. So we can get all this off. Alright, I got all the pump bolts out. This one only had 6. So now, taking the pump out, there's really not a good place to pry except for right in here. It's really the only place you can get to it. So I'm going to stick a screwdriver. Sometimes you got to pry it, then kind of rock it and pry it and rock it. I'm going to stick a big screwdriver right in that hole. That's part of the pump right there, under the nail, and grab it right there and kind of pry out. Well, I was prying with a screwdriver just right there. And it kept getting stuck on the other side. So I took this big tire iron down in there and reached over and pried it from the other side. And popped out. There it is. There's the pump. Pump is out. Now we can get our nail out and then we can take all this off. Alright, so the nail came right out. Now, what I did was I loosened this nut right here. You screw that nut all the way off, which it's not wanting to do for some reason. There we go. And then this has, it just clips right off of there. And then this should pull out. They're usually a little tight, but that should pull right out the top. And then this stuff right here just comes right off. Now go ahead and knock that out of there because I'm going to replace the seal in it. Alright, then this subassembly should just pull right straight out. Just like that. Set that over there. Also, when you pull these things apart, they got these washers and things in between them. Make sure you take note of those. See? And don't lose those. Sometimes when you flip them upside down and set them down like that, they'll pop off. So make sure you don't lose those. I was able to get a hold of it with one hand. Barely. Oh, pull that one out. Oh, I'll set that over there too. And then here's your band. Take that out. Alright, so this one's got a snap ring. So we gotta stick a screwdriver in there. Take that snap ring off. Alright, so on these snap rings right here, you find the opening. There's the opening right there. You just stick a screwdriver in there and try to pry it up out of the groove. Oh, the opening's up here. Well, looks different one. I was trying to look through the camera there. Well, it's usually easier than that. This one's kind of fighting me. It's usually easier with two hands, so you can reach in there and grab the top of it. That's what I'm going to have to do. And then you just kind of spiral it out once you get it started out. I don't know why that thing's being a pain in the butt. There we go. Now we can reach in there and just kind of spiral it out. Just like that. Alright, I went ahead and took the tail off the transmission and set it over here on this thing. I put the shaft right down through the middle. That way it can stand up. And then this cover and 4 bolts, I took those off. And then this piece, this spins and goes out, and that does your shifts. It just slides right in and out of that hole there. You just slide it out. Now, then once you get those snap rings out, I took this off. I didn't have to, but I did. Don't worry. Pretend like that's all still in there. Take that snap ring out and pull these clutches out. And then there will be another snap ring underneath there. This should still all be together. I took it apart just because I was messing with it. But then remembered I forgot to video this part. So there's another snap ring here. You take that snap ring out. Now, once you take that snap ring out, nothing else will come out. There's a bolt right here, which I've already took out. There's a bolt that goes right there that you got to take out, right there in the valve body. Take that bolt out, and then you can grab this piece right here, and this will pull out. And then all the rest of this should pull out. Which is kind of heavy. And that all pulls out in one piece. We're just going to set that in there for right now. Right there's the rear band. And this is your reverse band. And so, yeah, I know what to order now. I'm going to go through and check all these bushings. More than likely, definitely going to change that bushing. But I'm going to go through that and see what bushings need replaced on that. And then I'll order some bushings. And then I already took the this apart. See what kind of sprag I had in it. And it's got an 8 element. We want a 34. So we either got to order a 4L80, one of these, or a Turbo 400 one that's got the smooth surface and the 34 element sprag. That's pretty much it. That's how you disassemble a Turbo 400. Really ain't much to it. Oh yeah, and also, once you take this out, there'll be a smaller snap ring. Yeah. There's another snap ring that goes underneath that one. still be in there because it just kind of chills out. Yeah, it's still in there. It just kind of chills out in there. It just kind of braces this side, which where it was at was not a good spot. But we'll go ahead and leave that in there. But we are going to take this reverse band out. It is a little tricky to get it out sometimes. So yeah, see, it catches on those two pins right there. So you got to kind of pull it off the pins and then pull it out. But really, we don't have to take that out. And that one looks brand new. So we're just going to leave it there. But we are going to change this for a roller-ass bearing. And we'll get a good look at that bushing. See if we need to change the bushing too. Yeah, guys, and that's it. Y'all like and subscribe. Have a great day. Once we get the parts in for this, we'll start rebuilding it. There is some other stuff I need to do to Chris's car. We believe it blew the head gasket, but I want to check a bunch of other stuff first, and before we go through all that. But yeah, I'm just going to leave that band in there because it's not bothering nothing, and it's a good band. So we'll just leave it in there.